The Starlight Girl says, I usually get somewhere between 5 to 7 hours sleep. There is a constant feeling of tiredness, but at some point you just learn to ignore it or get used to it and carry on. I think this is very relatable, and in this Ask Reddit episode we have some great comments along with some input from a sleep scientist. How many hours of sleep do you need? Can you sleep too much? Does sleeping less than you're supposed to affect you in any way? If you've ever wondered about any of those things, I think you'll find this episode very informative. Welcome back to Ask Reddit Mondays on Redditainment. Today's post comes to us from this user and it says, people of Reddit who survive on less than 8 hours of sleep. How? And let's jump right into the comments. First comment here says, hatred and the need to pay bills. Unless you're working multiple jobs, I think this is more of a prioritization issue than just the fact that you have to pay bills. Another comment says, I have a coworker who is a cleaner in a psych hospital who is 50, only works nights, and says he only sleeps 3 or 4 hours a day. Don't know how she does it. Another follows up, my boss is like this. He is around 50, goes to bed at 10 to 11 p.m., wakes up at 2 to 3 a.m., starts working. Everyone in the company knows that it's mandatory to check your email right at the start of the day because the boss sends stuff during the night. Somehow he's the most energetic guy I've ever met. That just sounds insane. Sleeping from about 10 or 11 till 2 or 3 a.m. and then to start working right away? I'm pretty sure I would crash after only a couple days doing that. Another comment says, better question is, who out there is actually getting 8 hours of sleep? I for one love to sleep, but my problem is usually going to bed too late. But someone follows up to that question saying, I constantly sleep between 8 to 10 hours a night, 7 hours minimum, 12 hours max. I just love to sleep. It's a really pleasurable activity for me. I love being in bed with my partner and my cats. Dreaming is fun. I'm a recovering insomniac. From about 7 years old to 22 years old, I was going on about 5 hours of sleep on a regular basis, with these 12-hour comas sprinkled here and there. It took therapy and lifestyle changes and getting older to get me to start taking bedtime routines seriously. I use a lot of cognitive behavioral techniques to help myself settle down and have a solid bedtime routine. I think that's what it all comes down to, is having a routine that you get used to regularly get more sleep. But let's get to the post that is the main reason I wanted to do this episode today, which comes to us from this user. And it goes as follows. Friendly neighborhood sleep scientist stopping in. Most adults need 8 to 9 hours to function optimally. This is supported by a pretty robust body of research. Shorter sleep duration than this is associated with performance decrements across a variety of domains, and there is evidence for negative impacts on psychological health in the short and long term as well. Sleep is key to processes like restoration in various physical systems. There is also growing evidence that short sleep interferes with consolidation of memory from short to long-term storage. Sleep and relationships also appear to affect each other reciprocally. Good relationships promote good sleep, and bad sleep can hurt relationship functioning. Sleeping too much is also associated with negative outcomes. For example, sleeping more than 9 hours is predictive of elevated cardiovascular risk. There is limited but growing evidence that some people are true short sleepers who may experience fewer or no apparent negative cognitive effects of short sleep. This phenomenon is poorly understood, but is being investigated increasingly. Research is slowed in part by the difficulty of finding participants who are true short sleepers, but it is clear that most of us are not in this category, even if we think we are. The truth, according to the best available evidence, is that the vast majority of adults need 8 hours for best results. It is also critical to note that it is not clear whether people who feel like they experience no negative effects from short-term sleep are at lower risk for well-established physiological costs of short sleep, such as elevated cardiovascular risk. Emerging evidence is beginning to suggest that even if you feel you are not experiencing psychological or physical costs of short sleep, your actual physical health costs may be the same as for people who do feel the cognitive effects of short sleep. You can improve the quality of your sleep by prioritizing sleep hygiene. This includes having a regular bed/wake time each day, even on the weekends. There is no such thing as catching up on lost sleep. Not in a true sense. You can't undo the damage completely. Further, some evidence is beginning to indicate that the tempting practice of sleeping in on weekends to try to repay sleep debt has negative effects beyond the sleep that has already been lost. A consistent bed/wake schedule is one of the best gifts you can give yourself. Now, as you can obviously tell, this post was very lengthy. I didn't read the entire thing. There are some additional thoughts in that post, and a final disclosure within that post that also reads, my sleep research has been funded by various institutes at the National Institutes of Health and not by commercial interests, and I do not have any financial interest in any sleep services or products, so I have no competing interests to disclose. But that being said, if you want to read the whole comment and another follow-up comment by the same guy, I will leave links in the description down below. Feel free to check it out. I definitely found this post interesting. If you did as well, please leave a like on the video. But that is it for today, folks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't